Minato vs Kizaru would be an interesting battle. I mean, both these guys are among the strongest characters in their verse, and they also both hold high-ranking positions. Most importantly, they're both known for their speed. So how would a fight between them go? If these guys were to fight, they would have no knowledge of each other, meaning that they would have no contingencies or plans set up for their opponents, and they would have to figure things out as they go. So per usual, Minato would of course prep out the battlefield, throwing his kunai, and Kizaru would most likely rush Minato. And this is where things get tricky. As fast as Minato is, would he be able to deal with Kizaru's speed? With the power of the Pika Pika no Mi, Kizaru has the ability to turn into and manipulate light. Because of this, Kizaru is thought to be at minimum light speed, and I've seen arguments as to why he is and isn't light speed. The best piece of evidence that I've seen that supports that Kizaru is in fact light speed is when he asks Hawkins has he ever been hit at light speed, and then proceeds to kick the shit out of him. Now, people have argued that if other characters are able to tag him and block and deflect his attacks, then he can't be light speed. However, I'm not sure how I feel about this, as other characters could simply just be light speed as well. This led me down a rabbit hole of me doing a lot of research, carefully skimming through the manga, as well as the data books and different statements made by Oda. And Kizaru has been stated many times to be light speed, so I had to conclude that he is in fact not light speed. And yeah, I said he's not, in case you thought I made a mistake. And before everyone rages out in the comments, let me explain. In base, there is nothing that Kizaru has done that has suggested that he's light speed. He has no feats of moving at light speed, and in fact, there's many instances where it's shown that he isn't light speed. Like I said, him getting tagged by characters such as Whitebeard and Marco, as well as being held at gunpoint by Ben Beckman, suggests that he isn't light speed. Regardless of how you want to look at it, there's no way you think that a regular bullet is going to go light speed. Meaning, Kizaru can't be light speed if he thought that a bullet was going to be able to hit him. And I just know Kizaru fans are fuming right now. But don't worry, because I do think Kizaru can move at light speed. And I know you guys are like, Super, didn't you just say that Kizaru's not light speed? And yeah, I did say that, but let me explain. When I said Kizaru is not light speed, I meant in his base. However, through the use of his Devil Fruit, Kizaru is able to move at light speed. You see, through my research of Kizaru, I noticed that pretty much any time Kizaru does something that can be interpreted as light speed, it is only after he's transformed himself into light. When he fought Apu, he used his Yada no Kagami and turned himself into light in order to speed blitz Apu. And even when he fought Hawkins and kicked him at light speed, this only came after he turned his foot into light. So basically what I'm saying is, it's only when he transforms into light that he's able to move at light speed, but that's not his base speed. That's only when he's using his Devil Fruit power. So while I do think that Kizaru can move at light speeds, I don't think that's just the speed that he's always capable of going 24/7. And this makes sense, as anytime Kizaru travels, he's on a boat. If he was truly light speed, he wouldn't need to use a boat to travel. He could simply appear anywhere he wanted to. And the fact that he does have light speed attacks makes him extremely dangerous, so it does track as to why he's considered strong enough to be an admiral. So on average, I would say that Kizaru is probably moving around relativistic speeds, as well as other One Piece characters as well, with him reaching light speed whenever he uses light speed attacks. Now, to be real with you, this doesn't matter too much. Let me explain. Minato is honestly just as fast. I mean, first and foremost, he does have the power to fly in Raijin, so he could teleport instantly, and his reaction and movement speed are extremely fast as well. And I think the best example of just how fast Minato is when we saw him intercept Guy when he was going 8 gates against Madara, and Guy was moving so fast that he was actually bending space. And Minato was able to get in between them, catch the truth-seeking orbs, and teleport away from them, all before these guys ever reached each other. So Minato is arguably faster than light speed, but regardless, both these guys would be around the same tier of speed, so I don't think any one of them would have a clear advantage over each other. However, I would put my money on Minato edging out. Anyway, after the initial clash, Minato would realize that Kizaru is way stronger than he is physically. I mean, he was able to fight against a Gear 5th Luffy, and Luffy has had some insane feats of strength from even back in the pre-time skip days. He was also going toe-to-toe against an old Rayleigh. This same Rayleigh was able to slice a Sea King with just his sword. So yeah, Kizaru will be stronger than Minato physically by a large margin. I think that's fair to say. Now, Minato does have KCM and Sage Mode, and this could serve to close the gap a little, so there is that. Kizaru would probably then start letting off a volley of attacks at Minato, which Minato could just redirect using his barrier, and as it is with most fights, I think this fight would come down to who has the most powerful attacks. As these two are close in speed, Kizaru is stronger physically, but Minato does have higher forms of power, so I think what's going to edge this battle out is who has the higher AP. And in terms of Kizaru, we haven't really seen anything exceedingly powerful from Kizaru, and while his attacks on average are usually very strong and devastating, I don't think it's anything to the level that's going to permanently put down Minato, especially not if he has KCM where he can regenerate. And this makes sense as Kizaru's attacks mostly focus on speed and repetition. And if I didn't make this clear before, Chakra and Haki would be equivalents to each other in this fight, so Minato would be able to touch Kizaru even with his Logia. Minato also doesn't have a lot of attacks that are crazy powerful, however he does have his Rasengan, and Rasengans are extremely powerful, with the massive Rasengan said to be strong enough to carve mountains. However, Minato's Rasengan in particular was shown to be able to clash evenly with the Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bomb, and we've seen just how destructive these Tailed Beast Bombs are, with them being capable of destroying entire landscapes and mountain ranges. And this was a base Minato at 16, so I think when we factor everything all together, Minato does take this fight. And there is a world where Kizaru does win. I mean, we haven't seen him use Awakening, and maybe he has some stronger attacks that he hasn't used against Luffy, but based off what we've seen so far, Minato just outclasses him. And if Minato had KCM, this would be much easier for him. Not to mention he would be able to use Tailed Beast Bombs himself, as well as have the Kurama avatar. I also want to point out that Minato is much smarter than Kizaru, and this is no disrespect to Kizaru, but Minato is one of the smartest characters in his verse, with him being on the level of Itachi and Shikamaru. So his battle IQ is insane. So I do think he would be able to figure out Kizaru's fighting style pretty easily and come up with some counters to it. Minato also does have an array of sealing jutsu. I didn't want to bring it up because we don't know what he's fully capable of in that department, although he was said to be one of the best at using sealing jutsu, so there is that. Of course he has the Reaper Death Seal, but even if he was able to hit Kizaru with that, it would still result in his death, so that wouldn't be a win, it would just be a tie, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. Minato could also summon Ma and Pa, and they would be able to put Kizaru in a Genjutsu, and Kizaru has no counter to that. Maybe Observation Haki could help, but that's debatable. So yeah, I give this fight to Minato. Let me know what you thought about this. If you disagree, let me know why in the comment section. If you agree, let me know if I did a good job at this. I know the whole speed thing with Kizaru is going to be very debatable, but I hope I explained why I think the way I do about Kizaru's speed. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to like it, of course, as well as turn on your post notifications and subscribe to the channel to see everything that I put out. And as always, please consider joining the Patreon. It's only $1, $5 if you want a shout out at the end of each video. And yeah, with that out the way, it's the boy who cried Super Saiyan signing out. Bye.